If you don't think even the greatest sports narratives can be controlled, you haven't seen the Dynasty. Earlier this year, a 10-episode documentary came out on Apple TV about the New England Patriots' 20-year dynasty, basically chronicling the entire journey from start to finish. For those diehard Patriot football fans who watched it, there were mixed feelings. From the get-go, in some of the earliest episodes, one thing becomes clear. Robert Kraft is the teller of this story, and that's why this whole thing looks a little bit like a Belichick hit piece. Sorry, did I say a little bit? I meant a lot like a Belichick hit piece. From the early episodes, there are certainly things to poke at, and as the documentary continues, we see even broader bits of discontent. In the Deflategate episode, the documentary attempts to make it look like Belichick pinned the whole thing on Tom Brady all those years ago, which absolutely did not happen, and when issues like Spygate are covered, Kraft makes it more of a content issue than an angle issue, and Belichick's perspective is only mentioned once in a small clip from his interview with 60 Minutes during the height of the controversy, where he, with one line, completely invalidates the Spygate allegations as a whole.
Again, look. In preparation for a game, the signals that a coach gives out there, everybody can see. And we've had coaches in the stand or in the press box take notes of those signals. We videotaped them. It wasn't anything that wasn't visible or wasn't available.
Kraft only gives him that one line, and luckily that's all he needs. Which brings me to the next problem with the documentary. They didn't touch upon some of the most important parts of the 20-year dynasty. They fast forward through the 2003 and 2004 seasons like they weren't the years that the team was the most tight-knit and Belichick was at his imperious best as coach. With reports that the director of the documentary, Matthew Hamachek, is a good friend of Kraft's, it really isn't a mystery why Belichick gets 10% of the screen time that Robert ends up getting. No attention is given to Belichick's incredible game plan and defensive schemes even towards the end of the dynasty, and all of his controversial mistakes like benching Malcolm Butler in Super Bowl 52 are accentuated to a tiring extent. You'd have to be pretty dense to not be able to see that Robert Kraft, the self-proclaimed self-made billionaire, is trying to do something pretty sly. Martyr himself, and by extension Tom Brady, and make it look like Belichick is to blame for every bump in the road that happened over the past 20 years and the eventual dismantling of the dynasty. Luckily, every Boston sports fan knows better than to disregard the greatest coach of all time because of some random docu-series. I'm Sportism, and that's my take.